I just can't take this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. Oh, hi, I guess I'm live. Have you ever thought that? Have you ever been at your wit's end? Or maybe somebody you know is just on the verge of a breaking point? Maybe even you? Does it sometimes feel like you're being pulled in every direction? Does it sometimes feel like that? Are you ready just to throw in the towel and quit? Are you at the verge of saying, enough is enough? Well, if that's you, or if you know someone like that, then this is the show for you. On this week's episode of the Hangout with Penny show, I'm going to share with you my experience of what led me to take a little break and the difference between surrendering and quitting. There is a big difference, and I want to share that with you. So hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be back. I took a little bit of a break, and I am back, and I'm ready to go. So where should I start? I'm going to start with a few of the viewer comments from the last time I was on the air. So I'm just going to go a shout out for viewer comments. And I'm going to start with episode 20. And that was 8 Steps of Fulfilling Your Dreams in 2015. So this was from Fearless Girl. And she said, wow, this is a transformational episode, Penny. It's loaded with valuable insights and deep-rooted beliefs and how to shift them. Really appreciate your genuineness. Great show. So thank you, Fearless Girl. On the same episode 20 was a comment from Yolanda Parker, and she says, excellent show. I love the tips, wrote them down, and I know 2015 is going to be the best year yet, her best year yet. Changing my thinking has been a challenge, but I am noticing that it is changing and my thoughts are staying on a more positive path. Thanks for helping me to make a better life for myself. Oh, you're welcome. That's Yolanda Parker. Episode 22, Secrets to Attracting Your Ideal Weight. Now this comment came from Jason Lee, and he says, thanks for the great video on shedding pounds. Appreciate it. Now we have this comment from episode 23. And that was with Jeffrey X. Lane, the He Said, She Said edition of the Hangout with Penny show. We're going to be doing another one too, by the way. Actually, he just sent me a little note today, email. When are we doing our next show? So expect that to be coming up pretty soon. So this came from A to Z Point. For my US friends, it's A to Z. But in Canada and the UK, it's A to Z. So A to Z Point. And she says, thanks for the mention, Penny. I'm a big fan of your show. You both, that would be Jeffrey and I, did a great job showing we need open and honest communication and confirming that men and women want the same thing, cuddles. Linda. Thanks, Linda. So why I wanted to read the comments first, I went a little bit out of sequence from the usual for me, and that is because for those of you that have been making the Hangout with Penny show a weekly habit, till I go on holidays and stuff, then you make it a marathon because you catch up. But you know, or for the new viewers, you're going to know that one of my favorite things to do on Friday night when I invite you into my home and I share my teachings or the things I've learned along the way that I can just kind of inspire you with. You know, though, one of my favorite things to do is share a sip of wine with you all. Now, I love going out and finding wine that'll be very suitable for that topic of the week. Well, because Linda from A to Z Point is such a big fan of mine, look what I found. Linda, this is for you. Oops, let's get it around here. A to Z, A to Z. That is for you, my friend. And guess what? I'm heading to the UK May 21st to June 2nd. Who knows? Law of attraction could line something up. So to Linda and all the other fans and all the other friends and all of you that have supported me from, this is episode 30 of the Hangout with Penny show. So cheers to that, and cheers to 30 more. Linda, you have good wine. Okay. So what's the purpose of the Hangout with Penny show? It is a show that I wanted to be able to share. When I learn things, I like to share them. And it just so happens that I can use this as a platform to inspire you by sharing things that's happened in my life, and not so great, but then some great. Once I started implementing the law of attraction and understanding it and knowing how it works, because it's so much better knowing how it works than not, because it's working regardless. So whether you want to believe that the law of attraction is working in your life or not, it is. So by being able to be deliberate in our thinking, we can make a much better life for ourselves. So that was the purpose of starting these Hangouts. So the Hangout with Penny show is to inspire you, uplift you, and empower you, and to help you understand the law of attraction a little bit more clearly. For those of you that this may be the first time you're watching, my name is Penny Peddie, and I live in Wasaga Beach, Ontario, Canada. I am a law of attraction facilitator, certified by Michael Loge, and I'm also a health and wellness coach, and I do energy work. I'm studying actually right now the chakras a little bit more in depth, and boy, you know, well, you don't know, I'm going to tell you this. I took this course so that I would be able to, like I said, I like to learn things so that I can help others. And so I thought this is going to be good so I could just expand my knowledge and share it and help people. Well, I'm learning so much about myself. So that's really good. Hang out with Penny every Friday night. Thank you so much for many of you that have been making it a weekly habit and a marathon. Just to let you know that I do have a Google Hangout. Yeah, I do have a Google Hangout. You're watching it. I have a Google Plus community, and it's right here, google.com/plus Penny Peddie. So go on over there and join my community. And yeah, I send some inspirational, and we just share some things over there. And so when we're not hanging out here, we can hang out there in between times. So I want to thank, I have a very loyal fan from the Philippines, and his name is John Cokes. And from the very beginning, he's been very supportive. And he sent me this very beautiful email that I received this morning. So he just says, "Hi Penny, John Cokes here from the Law of Attraction and Google Hangouts. Just a note to say how much I miss you each Friday on the LOA episodes. The energy, the happiness, the joy, plus the bliss is just a few of, plus bliss is just not the same since you have been away." Oh, sorry about that. "Me and millions of others miss your sparkling smile and bubbly nature." Thank you so much, John. It goes on to say more, but I promise to try and make this only a 30-minute show. And yeah, maybe it'll be less, so it depends. So, okay. I've added another addition to the show. And my business is Penny for Your Thoughts. That's my Law of Attraction training, coaching business. That's the name of it. And so I am adding a new segment. So I'll do that at the beginning as well. Penny for Your Thoughts, Q&A. So I've had several people email me with different questions, and I've emailed them back, but I've decided that I'm going to share some on the air. Now, this came from a gentleman, Jim Magnet, and this was from the episode 20, I believe. Where's my sheets? Anyway, it was 8 steps to fulfilling your dreams. Step number 3 was let go of fear. So Jim's comment was, great advice. One thing I have a problem with is getting rid of fear. It seems my fears overwhelm me a lot. What's a good tip? Here's what he's asking me. What's a good tip to overcome fears so they don't stop your goals from happening? So I sent Jim just a quick message to say, I'll answer that on tonight's show. So this is the first of my new segment of Penny for Your Thoughts Q&A. So if you have any questions, just send them and I'll address them on this. Each and every show I'm going to have this segment. So Jim, I have a couple of questions. A couple of tips as well. Tip number 1 is get a coach. And not because I'm a coach, but I'll tell you, because I got a coach. And that coach was Michael Logier. And the defining moment for me was when he said, Penny, I'll have the courage for you. So if you have a coach, or if you have a mastermind group that you could belong to, these people are there to support you and have the courage for you when we have that fear that can sometimes just hold us back. They just give us that extra little bit, okay, and we know that we've got somebody on our side. When we try and do it alone, it can be very scary, and we don't know where to turn. We don't have that. So that is a very valuable tip, is to get a coach or get somebody that you can really trust. So I'm also going to suggest that you are very cautious on who you share your goals with. And I'll also ask you another question. Whose fear is it? Is it your fear moving forward, or has it been instilled in you from, maybe the media or siblings or your parents or friends? It's like, who's got the fear? Have they instilled that on you, or is it generally your fear? Sometimes I don't think we ever get rid of fear. I think fear can actually benefit us in a way. If everything was so easy, what would be the excitement out of it? And that's my next point and tip is, there's a short distance between the solar plexus, is where we hold our nerves, but it's also our confidence area. And when we lack that confidence, we can have that fear. Then just shortly up is our heart, where our heart is our love space. So if we can just shift the fear up to excitement, now we're in the heart space. So why do you want to do what you want to do? What are your goals? Go beyond the goals. What are they for? Are they for to help others? The ultimate go beyond is, that's why I'm doing these shows, so I can ultimately help somebody else. Something I could say tonight could be oh, I never thought of it that way. So that's how I got through my fear to come on and do Hangouts. And look at me, I'm on number 30 now. So courage. And if you can't muster up the courage for yourself, get with a support team or coach that can hold that courage until you just start easing your way into it. Do a little bit of the goals. And yeah, and why? What is your purpose? Because your whys can be a lot of your answer. So I hope that helped. That's just fear, that's a big topic. And but that's just a couple of tips. You asked for a tip. So I give you a couple. So I hope somebody got some use from that answer. So fear, it's useful. Now, I want to share my story with you for the past, I guess it's been a month. I've been taking a bit of penny time, and I've been loving it. However, I didn't like it for a short amount of time. I surrendered to the universe. Some people choose to call it God. Some people just the law of attraction. So rather than just quit, say, okay, like when I started the show, it's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm at my wit's end. We tend to want to just quit. Quit. But it's like, it's all about finding better feeling words. Better feeling words. Quit sounds so final. Surrendering. Surrendering is the secret to letting the law of attraction start manifesting for you, because we're letting go. So I'm going to give you a story that what happened to me. And I also said that in this show, I was going to share with you 3 simple steps to help you surrender and allow the law of attraction to start bringing you things more in alignment to what you want. Okay, so here we go. Many of you know, and for those of you that are first-time viewers, I moved home from 29 years ago. I lived up north, so I was away for 29 years, and I moved home to be a full-time caregiver for my mom. Over the course of the year, I kept saying, this is a full-time job. This is a full-time job. This is a full-time job. I'm getting so overwhelmed. This is a full-time job. So my focus was on, not on my real career. My focus was putting that, it was like I didn't even have one. So of course I was getting those blocks about moving forward in my business, because taking care of my mom was my business. So my mom has dementia, and she repeats, they call her 10-minute Ann, because she can remember things for 10 minutes and then she repeats. That's not my mom. My mom has a condition that is causing her to do this. And sometimes I would forget that that's not my mom. And I would get impatient and I would get frustrated. So this one morning, I was taking my mom to get her income tax done, and she just couldn't really remember what we were doing and where we were going. And in the course of the first few minutes of our drive, she kept repeating and repeating and repeating the same thing over. And I was getting frustrated and frustrated. And I'm at the stoplights, and the light turned green. And I went through the green light, and then I started hearing these horns just blaring. And I thought, wonder what's going on. And I looked out my side view mirror. I didn't really see anything. I looked out my rear view mirror, and to my right, at the back, I saw a school bus with the red flashing lights. Oh my gosh. Did I just go through a school bus with the red lights on? Now I'm starting to get a little panicky. That's a serious offense in Canada. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I carry on. I'm like, okay. Just calm down. A couple of miles down the road, I look in my rearview mirror, and cruisers, a couple of cars behind me. I see the lights going. I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody has called the police. Now I feel like I'm going to pass out, because I get this hyperventilation and I'm not saying anything. I'm being quiet because my mom, she wouldn't understand, and oh my goodness. So I'm like, okay, I can't stop here. I have to get around the corner. So I get around the corner. There's nobody behind me. I'm like, okay. So I keep going. We go get the income tax done. Everything's fine, but I'm just thinking that they're looking for me. So I had such a vibration of, oh my gosh. For anybody that's ever felt that vibration or that feeling where you think you're gonna pass out, I was driving. It's like, okay, breathe, just breathe, just focus, everything's fine. I get home and I'm like, okay, everything's good. Turn on my computer. It crashed. I'm like, what? It says backup. So I take my backup and I put the backup in my computer, and I backed up and I rebooted everything, reinstalled everything, and I put my backup in. My backup was no good. So I lost everything. I lost everything. What am I going to do? Everything was gone. Everything was gone. The earliest backup that I was able to put on was a year and a half prior. So I'm like, everything was gone. So of course I put my head down and cried for a few minutes because I was like, this has been a crappy day. I'm like, okay. I want this day to get better. This has got to get better. Something's got to change. What's going to change? And this is what came to me. You're being told to stop. So my first step was stop. I don't know if you can see that. Oops, it's all glary. But anyway, stop. Stop and just breathe. So I had to stop and I breathed. Okay, now what? Focus on the moment. Focus on the moment that you're in right now. What do you have to do at this moment? And so I started going moment by moment. It's like, in this moment, I need to give my mom her medicine. Go do it. In this moment, I need to give my mom her meals. In this moment, I need to go to bed. In this moment, so I started going moment by moment by moment. What a relief. I said, okay, I am going to just take some time, stop everything, and rebuild. What brings me joy? Where can I fill the love up for myself and still be able to give enough away? Because it's really, really important. When our love tanks, it's just like our vehicles, right? I drove my vehicle, I had fuel in the tank. I had less fuel when I got back. So when we're giving and giving and giving, we're depleting our energy. And if we're not refilling it, pretty soon that car would have just stopped. Well, I made the choice though before that happened to stop. There was a chain of events that led up to that, but I made the decision to stop and take care of me while I still could. Many times things will happen to us that we don't have a choice. I made a choice. And in that time, I took care of me. I kept my thoughts positive. I stayed a little bit away from social media. I went and had time with friends. I went for massages. But something that really happened, which was magical, was since I became my mom's full-time caregiver, well, two things actually happened. The relationship with my mom growing up and all through my teens, and my mom and I, we were too strong. She brought me up to be a very strong, independent woman. Well, sometimes we butt heads on that. And I have strong opinions, and our opinions didn't always agree with each other. But she was always my mom, and I was always the daughter. Something shifted when I come home to take care of my mom. I became the mom. I became the mom. So it was like, I started remembering some of the things that brought me joy from my mom. And that was, when I was little, she used to scratch my back. And that was such a comforting thing for me. Well, a couple of days into me just stopping and being, I was over at her place. It was time to give her medicine. And I was looking in the kitchen. I just started scratching my back. And she came up behind me and she said, "Oh, is your back itchy? You want me to scratch it?" Oh my gosh. I became the daughter again, and she became the mom. And I thought that was such a beautiful thing. So we had that connection again where it was just like everything was fine. And everything is fine. We all have a choice to make, and it's what we choose to think. And I chose to think better feeling thoughts because I know, right? We only have the moment. We only have this present moment, the present. So all our thoughts from right now that we're thinking is being sent out. It's being sent out, and it's going to return. So if I had to start thinking, oh, this day, how can this day get worse? It would, guaranteed. But I knew better from my teachings and my training and my from the law of attraction. Okay, wait a minute. How can this day get better? How can this day get better? So I just want to remind you that when things seem like you are at your wit's end, just surrender. Just say, look, I want things to get better. Maybe I don't know what they're going to be right now, but I just know things will get better. And just start living in the moment. And just keep asking yourself, so what do I want? So what do I want? Oh my gosh. I hope you got a little bit of value from that. I didn't know what I was going to talk about tonight. It was just my first time back, and I was excited, and I wanted just to share with you a little bit. Oh, and I want to say something else. In that time, I went to visit a friend, and again, I was just talking about, you know, taking care of my mom is a full-time business or full-time job, and one of the ladies asked me, well, what's your business? And I told her, she said, well, if you're a law of attraction trainer, you should know that if you're telling the universe that you're overwhelmed with your full-time job looking after your mom, how's the law of attraction going to line up you to get business in your own business? Like, so now I have a thriving business, and my mom, I care for my mom. That's what I do. And I'm here because I care. I'm here for all of you because I care. And if I can do one thing, if I can say one thing that's going to help you, then I'm happy for that. Anyway, let me go out and see if there's anybody in the comment area that Oh, welcome back. Thank you, Angie Morels. Joy Colson's watching. Michael Loge's in the house. Tana Marshall. Oh, she's going to watch the replay. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, everybody. I am so glad to be back. And thank you for all the comments and all the emails and everything. It all just makes this so worthwhile for me. So for those of you that are watching, the Hangout with Penny show is a weekly show. I'll be back next week with episode 31. And until then, remember, it's what you think, it's what you say, and it's how you feel. It's how you feel. If you feel that you want something better in your life, then that's your focus. Stop, breathe, focus. What do you want? It comes. So that concludes our 30 minutes together. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been the Hangout with Penny show with your host, Penny Peddie. Glad to be back. See you next week. Bye.